Right now, I'm going to show you how to create a multi-dimensional background blur inside of Photoshop. This is going to give you that background blur, but I'm going to be able to apply a different amount of blur on the midground and the background, so it's going to give you more depth and more realism than traditional ways of blurring the background. Hey Cafe crew, Colin Smith here from photoshopCAFE.com, and today I'm going to show you how to create a multi-dimensional background blur. What does that mean? It's just a term I made up, which means that we're creating more depth and more dimension in a photograph by applying different amounts of blur in different parts of the photograph. So all of this is going to be done by creating a depth map and then applying that to the photograph, and it's going to give you unbelievable results. So let's get started. First thing we want to do is we want to select our subject. So let's grab the quick selection tool, and you'll see an option that says select subject. Click on that, and if you have something earlier than Photoshop CC 2019, you might have to manually just drag in here with the quick select tool. All right, this is a good place to start, but let's make it better. Let's click on select and mask. Now I want to clean up these edges. So we're going to turn show edge, and then I'm going to adjust the radius until we start to see an outline. There we go, that thin outline, that's good enough. Let's turn that off. So what that's done is it's got us a better selection around all these edges here. Now we want to make the hair better. So make sure you grab the second tool here. This is the refine brush, but it looks like hairy, so let's just call it the hair brush. And then we're just going to go around the hair, just going around those edges there, and then release. And notice it starts to pick up a lot of those stray hairs in there. I'm going to give this a little bit of a feather. I'm going to do about 0.5, just to kind of soften those edges off a little bit so it's not going to be too harsh. Make sure it's output to selection, click OK. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to save this selection onto a new layer. So we're going to grab a new layer just by clicking on the new layer icon, and we want to fill this with black. The way to do that is to hit D, and that will reset the foreground background color. So we've got black. And now we want to fill it with the foreground color, which is Option Delete, Alt Backspace on Windows. Control D to turn it off. There we've got our nice black layer right there. Excellent. Now we want our midground. So let's select the background. Choose our quick selection tool. I'm going to guess this is probably it here, but let's just go this way. All right, now we've got our selection. We want to refine this. Let's go under Select and Mask. By the way, it'd be Refine Edge on an older version of Photoshop. Now what we want to do is just kind of clean up these edges. So let's do the first thing we did before, show the edge. Let's pull it up so we can see an outline, but let's make it thicker on this one. And turn that off. So notice that's got us a pretty decent selection around here. We just got to get this bush. Let's grab our hair tool. And then we're just going to paint around this bush, and notice what happens. We can start to just cut out the areas of the bush. Excellent. And let's just click OK now with the selection applied. Now we've got a selection on a midground, and we want to save that. So let's create a new layer, and we want to fill this with gray. So let's choose the shade of gray. Let's click on black, and I want to give it about 30% gray. So if we go under Hue, Saturation, Brightness, just type in 30 under B for brightness, and notice how it affects it. In fact, why don't we do that less? Let's do 40. There we go. So we've got, a nice kind of shade of gray there. It's almost half. Click OK. We've selected that, and now we just want to fill it the same way we did before. That would be Option Delete, Alt Backspace on Windows. Let's turn off our selection by hitting Control D. All right, so now we've got our foreground, which is black, our midground, which is gray, and then the rest of it's going to be our background. In fact, let's hide our background right now. All right, so what we've got right now, if we look at this, we've got black as our foreground, gray as our midground, and then we've got our area here. Why don't we just make sure we don't have any weird edges? Let's grab our gray layer, our midground layer, grab the brush. And what I want to do is I'm just going to paint in. I just want to extend the gray there, so we don't have anything weird on those edges. There we go. So all I did there is I just painted in a little grays, just in case we don't want a gap there. Excellent. Okay, so we want to create a new layer that contains both of these layers now. So the way to do that is to just make sure that we've hidden our background. We're looking at just these two. Then we're going to hit Shift, Option, Command, E. And that would be Shift, Alt, Control, E on Windows. And then what that does is it'll create a new layer out of all the visible layers. So now what we want to do is we want to take this and we're going to make a depth map out of that. What does that mean? This is where we're going to tell Photoshop where to blur more and where to blur less. And we're going to do it with a channel. So what we want to do is let's select all of this. So we're going to hit Control A, selects everything, and now we want to copy it. So we're going to hit Control Command C to copy it. So now that information is in the clipboard. Right, let's go to our channels. Don't be intimidated by channels. All they are is the color information that make up our photo. And then we can create additional channels, which are known as alpha channels. So alpha channels are just an area where we store selections and masks that we can use later on. So let's create a new alpha channel right now just by clicking on the new icon. If it is black, just hit Control or Command I for invert, and then make sure we fill it with white. Now what we want to do now is we just want to paste in our depth map. Now if you just hit Control V, it's not going to work. I'll show you why. Notice the gap at the bottom. What it does is when you paste, it tries to put it in the middle of the page. So let's undo that. The trick to paste something in place is to hold down the Shift key. So now if we hit Shift Command V, notice, bingo, it does it all in place. So hit Control D to turn it off. And now we have our depth map all ready for use. So the next step, we're going to go in and we're going to do our blur. You guys are going to love this step. All right, so what we're going to do now is just put everything back how it was. So that means we're going to click on RGB to turn on those channels. See, the little eyeball should show there. If it's showing red, that's because the alpha channel is still visible. Let's turn that off. And it should just look gray like that now. Make sure you click back on RGB once again. They're selected. Go to our layer. And we're going to hide that, and we're going to go to our background layer. But we're not going to apply this effect directly onto the background layer. I want to create a safety layer. So that means I'm just going to hit Control J, which is going to give me a duplicate, because we're going to be applying this onto here. And then what that does is if we don't like the result, we can always go back. And also if we want to mask, if there's areas that look a bit weird, we can mask them with the original by creating a mask on that layer. So it just gives us more flexibility. All right, now it's time. Let's create our multi-dimensional blur. So we're going to go up under Filter, and we're going to choose Blur. Now we want the most realistic camera style blur, and that's the one that's going to be known as Lens Blur. So let's turn on Lens Blur. And here we are inside of Lens Blur. So that means if we increase the radius, this is going to give us our blur. And it's a very realistic blur, but the problem is it's blurring everything, including our person. So we don't want to do that. We want to only affect those other areas. We want to take advantage of that map that we created. So the way to do that is we just load it in. Under Depth Map, where it says Source, go down, there's the alpha channel we created, Alpha 1. Click OK. Notice immediately our subject is now sharp. Notice our background is very blurry. And our foreground here, or our midground, is a little bit blurry. In fact, if I turn it all the way off, that is with no effect. Watch these two areas here. As I increase it, notice how the background blurs more than the midground. And that's because that midground, of course it looks a little weird right now because I've way overdone it, but that's because of the shades of gray. When we're working with black, it protects it, it receives no blur. When we have a shade of gray, it receives a percentage of blur, which is directly proportional to the percentage of gray that we've used. So right now it's going to give 40% blur because we used 40% gray. If we use 90% gray, it would get a 90% blur, and the background, of course, is unaffected, gets 100% blur. Okay, let's dial it back to something a little bit more reasonable. So I just want to throw the background off just a little bit. All right, so I'm looking at this, it looks really good. Here it is before. and after. And you can see I missed a few stray hairs there around the edges. So what I would recommend for that is maybe just apply a layer mask, and we could just mask that out. I'll just quickly show you how I would do that. Just create that layer mask. Just grab black for the foreground color. And then I could just kind of start to paint those areas back in. See that? So you can see how we can kind of go around there and just refine that if we need to by using a mask. So anyway, I've got a question for you guys. What's the main camera you use for taking your photographs? Let me know in the comments underneath. And if you love Photoshop and Lightroom tutorials, hit that subscribe button right now and you'll get a new tutorial from me every single week. Also hit that little notification bell so you'll know when I upload that new tutorial. If you like this tutorial, smash the like button into dust. And until next time, I'll see you at the cafe.